think, like, no senior citizen or Montanan should have to pay the prices for prescription drugs that we have. And seniors are really vulnerable right now, and they also should have their Medicare and their Social Security safe. Look, I've worked across the aisle to actually put our hands around pharmacy benefit managers and work to lower the price of prescription drugs. We provide additional funding for our seniors and our caregivers along the way. But there's where Senator Daines has actually not only voted to cut funding for Medicare, he's voted to privatize it. He's not only voted not to expand Social Security, but at the end of the day, also undermining its long-term stability. And the fact that Costco can negotiate the price of prescription drugs, that the federal government can't, and Senator Daines has voted against allowing that, is one of the areas that DC has to change. I'll protect Medicare, I'll protect Social Security, and we'll start actually negotiating for a fair price on prescription drugs. I took the fight against Citizens United all the way up to the Supreme Court. Senator Daines has taken $30,000 from Citizens United. I sued the Internal Revenue Service over dark money. He voted to shield them. I've taken steps actually to protect Montanans, and we did it the old-fashioned way. We brought Democrats and Republicans together to actually pass some of those progressive laws when it comes to dark money in our country. And Steve Daines has taken $2 million of corporate PACs. We know what he's working for. Until Mitch McConnell said the way to win in November is to be tough on China. Steve Daines does have a career of fighting for China. 6 years building factories there for an American corporation. 5 years selling call support and customer service software over in China and throughout Asia. As he's preserved as a senator, those tax breaks for companies that ship their jobs overseas. And when Montanans lose their jobs due to outsourcing, he left them high and dry. I'll be fighting for Montana, not China. Steve Daines knows that I've stood up to my party when any discussions of government-controlled healthcare occurs. Well, he's supposed to be working for us. He's been working to strip away healthcare from you, stripping away pre-existing condition coverage, protections for people with cancer and diabetes. We had Democrats and Republicans come together to pass Medicaid expansion. 90,000 people have healthcare. We haven't lost one rural hospital. He actually was against that. Even during this time of a global pandemic, he wants to take away your health.
Thank you, Mr. Bullock.
Montanans deserve better. It was great that the Land Water Conservation Fund is finally funded. But I guess that's election year, because before this year, Senator Daines voted to pull money away from it and never fully fund it. The way that I'll work in Washington is the same that I've worked in Montana, by bringing people together, by saying it's so much more important than sort of the political food fights of the day to get stuff done. And that's why I want to do this job. We do need to make progress. And what Senator Daines was doing for that company is selling software for call centers and customer support in China and throughout Asia. We need to make sure that we have somebody that's creating jobs in Montana, not in China. There's a reason why that a senior Communist Party leader called Senator Daines China's ambassador in Congress. I'm going to be working every day for Montanans, urban and rural, and connectivity is part of that. Montana was a gift for me growing up. It was a pretty simple upbringing in a household where we lived paycheck to paycheck. I only knew there was a governor's house in town because I delivered newspapers to it. So I've made it about 4 blocks in life. But with good public schools, with streams and public lands to wander in, and with a community that cared, it made a difference. Now my wife Lisa and I, we send our 3 kids to the same schools that we went to. We hike on the same trails we did growing up. And we've been able to provide them a better life than we could have ever known. And I think that's what every parent wants. Every day as governor, I've worked to protect that Montana for today and for future generations. I'm running for Senate because Washington isn't working for Montana. It's working for the party leaders and the corporate special interests. And in these uncertain times, Montanans need someone who they know is certain who they work for. 4 years as Attorney General, 8 years as governor. I've never forgotten who I work for. And I won't as a senator. Look, I get that DC seems to change some people. They get that bug, and all of a sudden they're listening more to their party leaders or the special interests than they are to Montanans. Or that they don't forget the fact that they represent all Montanans, even those that they disagree with. As your senator, I'll always put Montana first. I'll stand up to corporate special interests. And I'll never let any party leader dictate what I do or how we live. I want to make sure that the Montana that I grew up in is that our kids inherit. I'll always do right by Montana. That's what I've always tried to do, and that'll never change. Thank you, and God bless.